Hi, my name is Jonathan Leopard, and I am creating my video log on the new student dialogue I attended this past week. Um, I actually attended Colors of the Wind, which is on interracial dating, and it was not what I expected. I expected it to be really awkward and nothing really happened, no real discussion happened, but our group, I believe they achieved true dialogue throughout it. We actually began to talk about everything. We started off, we were really nervous. We wouldn't talk much about anything. But the two group leaders, they actually got us talking, and we all started sharing stories from our families and our past things, and our memories. And very fast, we started to learn a lot about each other that we didn't originally think we would. It was more or less, it was almost everyone started really talking, and there were a few people that they were willing to talk about anything, and that was pretty cool because they always had some aspect or perspective to add into it. There was, I think, three people who didn't really want to talk about much of anything. They participated, but they didn't really talk unless they had to. Everyone volunteered to talk at least once, but there were definitely people that talked a lot more than others did. And as far as the role that I played in my group, I was there with my roommate, and I more or less just kind of gave an aspect on, I guess, families that really wouldn't approve of it. They would approve of my choices even if they didn't approve of my decision, if that makes sense. It's kind of, they wouldn't agree with what I'd chosen, but they would still support me in it. So I kind of brought that perspective into the group because most other people, it was either their families didn't approve, wouldn't want them to do it, period, or their families wouldn't really care as long as they were happy. But for me, it was just more of, I know my family wouldn't approve, they would still support my decision. Um, I think this is a really useful tool as far as for CU1000, because throughout college life, you're going to be in classes where you have to discuss things and actually not just say it and believe it. You have to discuss it with other people and come to a new understanding of the subject. You can't just have the same understanding throughout your whole college life and never learn anything new. I mean, you came to college for the reason of learning, not just to tell everybody about what you already know. I think it's a very useful tool that I'll use throughout my term here, my stay here at Clemson University. Um, One of the things I noticed that I found very interesting was that when it started out, no one really talked at all. They didn't say anything to each other, they didn't do anything, they just kind of took and sat back and watched everybody else. And I kind of feel like everyone was kind of looking at each other and being like, that person, and they're trying to figure out what that person was going to argue about. And I'll admit that I did the same thing. I was like, well, I think that person's going to be for it. I think that person's not. I think that person just got stuck in here because it was the last NSD left. But then we actually get started talking, and once everyone started talking, a lot of those predetermined ideas that I had were completely untrue. People I thought they were just in there because they had to be actually had genuine discussions about it. They actually had stories in their past about these kind of things, and they brought a whole nother aspect to it. Instead of just speculating on it, they could actually tell the story about it and about what happened within their family. It wasn't just, well, if I did this, it would probably happen. It was, I did this, and I was dating a person from another race, and my family wasn't approve of it. They were nice and everything, but they made it very clear to me that they did not approve of this decision at all. And it just brought a whole other aspect to it, 'cause it wasn't no longer just a thought, it was a truth. And I mean, it was, it really opened your eyes to a lot of the things that you wouldn't normally think about. It was actually how it would happen. It was a whole other feeling actually being able to see things and hear other people talk about what they've done in their past, not just what they've seen. And it's a it's a very interesting thing. At first, I wasn't really excited about going to the New Student Dialogue at all. I didn't want to go. I thought it was a waste of time, but I'm glad I went. I'm actually very glad. So, I think this was a very good experience, and it's a tool that I'm gonna use throughout the rest of my life. So, thank you, Clemson University, for making me do stuff I don't want to do.